Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Bloom Outdoors. Today in this video we are going to be talking about trimming with the truck. So if you guys watched the last video over this, which was a few videos back, maybe a couple weeks ago I posted it, I don't know. You would know we took off this lower valence or lower spoiler, whatever you want to call it. We took off that piece as well as we trimmed a little hair bit off right there, as well as took off these black rubber pieces and we trimmed a little bit right there. Unfortunately, I have to say, with the 6-inch lift, 12 wides, and on 35s, then we do still rub a little bit. So actually, if you can tell from like a side angle right here, you can actually tell where we're rubbing right there. You can see that inner wheel well liner thing. You can see how that's bent. We actually do rub right there, so you can actually tell we rub right here. It doesn't rub, I don't think, at least going forward at all. It's only in reverse when you crank it weird, just like the lip or whatever you want to call it, the tread of the tires. It gets up under here and goes like that, and you can hear it rub. So it goes like and does that. So we probably need to trim this up a little bit, honestly, probably to this corner right here wouldn't be bad. Just make a line from that corner and go down across with it. Wouldn't be too bad. As well as I'm going to remove the front crash bars. I really don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. I don't know, probably can't see anything right now, but occasionally when I hit some bumps and stuff going forward, you can hear it rub super bad. That's not good at all. It's definitely not from the plastic, like this plastic or the plastic in the back or anything. It's definitely this crash bar, and if you can hear, it is metal, so it just will totally rip the tires to pieces. So sooner or later, either this tire, the tread's gonna get ripped out of it, or this whole crash bar is gonna get ripped out or something. It only happens occasionally. When you're driving straight, of course nothing happens, but it's when you're like either uphill or downhill, like backing up, that's when right here rubs. Sometimes even just on a flat surface backing up, it'll rub right there. So we'll probably go from this corner and trim it down. And then in the front is usually just when you're in drive. So like this side, you'd have the wheel cranked all the way to your right, and this edge here will get caught like right there. It's just right on the corner, but I don't want to really cut it because it's metal. So from my understanding, we just have a bolt right here we need to remove, and I think this thing comes out. I'm gonna like double check it and stuff. I'm gonna crank the wheel when we do it here and make sure that is all we have to do, just to remove that one bolt, and the thing should pop out. That's what I'm hoping. Looks like it might be a little difficult to remove it right here because we've only got kind of a small gap. So hopefully it doesn't go like all the way back to here and then pull it and it doesn't come out. So hopefully everything will work fine. I'm gonna start by getting the front crash bars removed on both sides. I honestly think only this side needs it, but I want both sides to match. So we're just gonna go ahead, remove them on both sides. So I'm gonna turn the truck on, get this wheel cranked. We'll just try and unbolt this first. I'll check it out though, make sure there's no other bolts or anything, or make sure like the bumper is not held up by this. It shouldn't be, but should just be able to get this guy removed. Shouldn't have any issues with rubbing after that. At least I don't think we will. I believe we won't. And then I'll just take, I don't know, a cutting wheel or some tin snips or something and just trim this up probably from right here. Run a piece of tape so make it as straight as possible and just cut right along that, because you can see, and this is the driver's side, if you can't tell, show you the passenger side. The passenger side, it might rub a little bit. Looks like it actually does, or might. A little bit, you can kind of see right there. Maybe a little bit, that's just a bad cut. That was kind of on accident. It might rub a little bit. I really can't tell for sure if that's a rub or not, because it looks like it goes all the way across. So actually, I don't think it is when I think about it, because we had that black boot thing here that came across. I think it went all the way back to here. So I might just do the same thing, cut from here down to there. And then in the front here, I don't think we rub it all in the crash bar. No, excuse me, I have rubbed, I think once on this front crash bar. I had to make a U-turn and go over some railroad tracks. So when I did that, I'm pretty sure it rubbed on this crash bar. It made a really terrible sound, but it did. We're just gonna go ahead, remove the front crash bars on both sides. I'll get the truck turned on, like I said, crank the wheel. And it should just be the one bolt, and we should just be able to pull them out, I think. But I'll let you guys know. I'll see you guys here in a second. As you can tell, I got the truck turned on, I got the wheel turned here, but I just wanna show you guys what this looks like back here. So you can tell, if there was no trimming, 100% we would rub, because, yeah. But anyways, you can tell here, when we are in drive, you could tell it would kind of rub a little bit, but it wouldn't be anything terrible. This is at an absolute max full turn right here, by the way. But when you are in reverse, it'll catch up under this and just make a terrible sound. Sounds like it wants to get ripped out. Show you what this side looks like at a full turn. So at a full turn, it's kind of hard to tell here, but you can tell actually. It's really hard to tell on camera here because you can't see that well. Here's from like a top view. You can tell when the tire gets turned back, it'll come back, and like I can barely get my finger through here, but it will rub like right here, even on this passenger side where it rubbed more on the driver's side. So we'll go ahead, get these taken out because they kind of need it. I don't believe we're rubbing on the actual metal bumper part at all, at least from my knowledge and understanding of what I know, then we're not. Guys, so it's gonna be really hard to tell, but I am up under the truck here, kind of in this wheel well area, but this thing's actually a lot thicker than I thought it was. Like, it's this wide. I thought it was actually about half this, and I thought it only had one bolt, but you get up under here and there is two bolts, and right here these bottom ones are welded to the bracket for it, so it looks like we're gonna have to take them off from up here. So what we'll have to do is we'll actually have to take this little clip out here, and this wheel well liner, we might have to take out this bolt too, but then this wheel well liner should be able to pop out towards us, and then we can get our socket in behind there and get this bolt taken out. So we're gonna pop this out, try and get this wheel well liner taken out and get that socket up in there. So here is the issue here. So we've got 15, I'm still tucked way up in here, but anyways, get this wheel well. Oh yeah, I don't think I told you, I had to take this out. So there was a clip there, and then there was a 5 millimeter or 5.5 millimeter or something. I think 5.5 millimeter bolt there. And up there, you gotta take that out for this wheel well liner, and then you can kind of pop it up over your head and stuff. But you can see up in here, it looks like both of these two bolts are 15 millimeter bolts. So what you gotta do is you gotta take your socket, get up in there, and you can actually only go down so your bolt is still threaded in a little bit, because once you do that, your socket ends up getting stuck up there. And here's what my socket looks like, just like that. Regular size with the shallow socket end, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, it ends up getting stuck because you've got this piece right here and it gets stuck in the two and you can't get it out, so you got to leave it threaded in a little bit and then you got to unthread it. But then I was confused because you try and, I don't have a good camera angle at all for you guys, so my bad. But this bolt here, once it's unthreaded, you can see it goes up and hits this, and your bolts get stuck. Your bolts don't come out. So the only way you're getting these out is if you cut them out. But I had to look it up myself, and what I seen another guy do is you have to cut these bolts off. Then even once it's out, you can see how long this crash bar is. It goes all the way back here, back up to here. So the thing is super long. So even once you get those bolts out and stuff and try and pull it, you're gonna end up hitting the bumper here. That's the issue he had as well. He even took this plastic, this whole bottom plastic piece off, and the thing was still stuck because you've got the actual metal bumper here. So basically, if you want to take this off, then you're gonna need a Sawzall to cut these bolts, and you're gonna need to remove the entire front bumper because the bumper doesn't just push to get this thing off. You have to remove the entire front bumper. Otherwise, you can just straight up cut the crash bar like right here, and then you can try and remove the bolts up and cut the bolts and then pull this intersection out would work. I was thinking about doing that, but I don't have a Sawzall, in my position right now at least, so that's not really gonna work. So I guess I'm kind of out of luck there. I'm just actually gonna end up screwing those bolts back in for the front crash bar. As much as I hate to say it, as much as I hate to take it to a shop because I am not that kind of person and I don't like doing that, I'd rather do it myself. Something like this is, I'm gonna talk to a shop, see if they can get this removed. Otherwise, if not, I may just have to take a Sawzall or something and get it cut, like right there. Actually, maybe cut it like here. Or yeah, probably cut it like right here or something and get that piece to just fall off and then take the bolts back out, cut the bolts off and pull the rest of it out. That's what I might just have to end up doing. But for now, I guess I'm gonna put the bolts back in and leave it. And honestly, I don't even really want to mess with this either. I'm not in the mood anymore after I figured out I can't even remove that. It was supposed to be a fun video and a removal of that, but now I'm kind of pissed, so I'm not even in the mood. I don't even feel like removing this, but whenever I figure something out with this crash bar, then I guess I will get back to you guys. So I'm just gonna get those 15mm bolts put back in. So I guess that's what I just showed you is a how not to remove your crash bar, but what I'm telling you is how to remove it. You're gonna have to cut it right there, get this whole thing to fall out, and then you can end up pulling these 2 bolts out and then cut the top of the bolts and then pull the rest of it out. Otherwise, you can just cut it right there and call it good. Otherwise, you can remove the whole front bumper and then take the bolts out and cut the bolts and get it all to come out. Just kind of whatever you want to do, but that's a how to do it, but me showing you is a not how to do it, whatever you want to call it there. So I guess I'll just get everything put back together here. You guys don't really need to see that, so probably just end the video there. Eventually sometime, I don't know if I'll make a video over it or not, I will end up coming through here and taking tin snips or a saw or something, and I don't know, something or another, and cutting that line right there on both sides like I'm showing you guys. But that is a project for another day, not in the mood anymore for it. But I guess that's pretty much it for a how much do you need to trim with 12 wides. You'll have to take off this lower valance, cut a little bit of that, take off the front crash bar or cut it off, whatever you want to do, and trim about right there. And that's what this setup, 6-inch rough country lift with the lifted struts and 35 12.5s on 20x12s, -44 offset. That's pretty much what you need to trim before you want to buy the setup, I guess, so you know. All right, never mind, change of plans. I found a Sawzall, got a metal blade hooked on. So I'm kind of pissed, so hopefully I don't break anything, because that will make me even more pissed. I'm gonna end up cutting it about right there to start. Try and get the whole front crash bar cut out, and then I will end up cutting out the top of the bolts so this whole thing can get pulled out. So I'll check back in with you guys in a minute. All right guys, I'm totally out of breath. As you can tell here, I got a Sawzall. It's a really old one, but I managed to get one. We've got our metal blade on there, and here is this side's like partial crash bar that we needed. And here's this side's. I actually did this side first. Got it all tucked back away and everything. You can see everything is back together here. You can see now we've got no crash bar right here, but you can tell where we cut it and got it painted back up and everything. As you can tell if you do this, you are definitely going to get metal on you and probably in your face and on your eyes and everything. And while I was at it, I just didn't have the patience to film, so sorry about that, but I ended up trimming a little bit more right back here. We got this liner cut. Now we do have some metal exposed back here. I'm just gonna leave that, hope I don't rub on that or anything, because I think it was only the plastic rubbing. But you can see here at a full turn, we do not rub, and we're not really close to rubbing right up front. So I just finished getting this side cut out here so I can show you guys everything before I end up finishing off the process here. So I just got it cut. What I ended up doing was I left the bolts in and I just cut it maybe a ½ inch away because there was this top piece here. If you went any further in, you were gonna hit that top piece with the blade. I've got a longer blade on there, so I just stayed about a 1/2 inch or so out. Had my brother, he's right over there, re-plasti dipping his bumpers because that's what happens when you go through a car wash. But anyways, he ended up holding it for me, so when it got cut, it didn't fall on me. But here's what it looks like. So what I'm gonna do is I got some sandpaper laying right over there. You can see, I think it's like 200 grit. I don't really think it matters what you use. That's just what I have laying around. Sand down the surface of this. And I've actually got, back over, right over there, I've got some, I think it's called like engine bay paint or something. It's good up to like 550 degrees. So just to be safe, instead of using regular spray paint, I just use that because I have it here. Just spray some of that on there so we don't get any rust to form or appear on that partial crash bar that's left there. So once I sand that down, get that stuff sprayed on, we can go ahead, put these bolts back in here, and we should be totally good. You can also see back here, I did get a little bit more of this trimmed up. Not going to do anything with the rear crash bar. That needs to stay on for safety purposes so nobody dies. There is, you can see right back up here, a little bit of metal. I'm just gonna leave that. I don't think, or I hope at least, I'm not gonna rub on that, so I'm just gonna leave it. But I'll sand that, get it sprayed down with that paint, get all this buttoned back up, get those screws put back in, and we should be good to go. All right guys, here we go. Like I showed you, we have the crash bar, and I went ahead, used that little piece of sandpaper, sanded it down, got our paint on here. Here's what I'm using. Just this engine animal up to, or animal, whatever you want to call it. But just some kind of engine paint, high temperature stuff, just in case this stuff does get super hot. Should be good with that. We shouldn't have any rubbing issues now. I went ahead and turned the wheel already and everything, and nothing else seems to appear to rub or anything like that. So we should be totally good to go. There you have it. That is the trimming you have to do on a 6-inch lift with 12 wides on 35s. You've got to trim some back up here. You'll most likely have to get rid of some of that crash bar, and then this bottom valence piece as well. Other than that, we shouldn't rub it all. If I do end up rubbing or anything, I'll make another video and post it and tell you guys where I'm rubbing and what else I need to trim up and everything. But other than that, we should be totally good. Nothing rubs in the back, of course, but everything should be good. I'm only a little bit concerned about maybe this metal right back here, but I'm not going to do anything with that for now. I'm just gonna leave it like this. But if I do need to do anything with that, like I said, I'll make another video, let you guys know and show you guys what I'll do with that. But that should pretty much wrap up this video here. That is what it all looks like. Show you guys this side one last time. You can see that the paint's still kind of wet, but well, and then there's what back there looks like. Other than that, I'm pretty sure that's about it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, drop a comment down below and let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching another video of Bloom Outdoors. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.